All right, we are going to create a family in Revit, and we're going to add types to it, and it's going to be a thing of beauty. All right, so I've got Revit open already, and all I need to do is go to the new family, not new project, new family. And these are already families created, so I just have to back up. Oop, oh my goodness, went too far. And I want to find the folder called Family Templates, English Imperial, and these are family templates. They are RFTs, Revit Family Template. A stud is basically like a structural column, so I'm just going to pick that one as my template to start with, structural column. There I am. All right, in here, in the floor plan called lower reference level, if you go to the 3D view, you see nothing in 3D until you've actually created geometry. If you go to the front elevation, you see that. So I've got the three views open. If you key in WT, they tile. So if you just zoom all to fit, there they are. All right, so the first thing, these are reference planes, and we want to use those reference planes to help us create our family. So the first thing we do is we go get a dimension, and we're going to do an overall dimension that way and that way. Okay, those are just dimensions. Now we're going to turn those dimensions into what we call parameters. So I'm going to select this one, go up here and click on that little thing and do create parameter. I'm going to call this stud width, and it's a type parameter. Okay, it did that now. I'm going to click on that one, create parameter, stud depth. It's type. Okay, good. Okay, they're a little big for what a stud is, so I'm going to start it with a 3.5 inch parameter size. And this is a 2x4, which means it is 3.5 by 1.5. Okay, so that's the starting size. If you want to see what you've just done, you go up here to this little thing, family types. And in your family, you've got the stud depth and the stud width. And if you want to check out if it's working, they call that flexing. If I wanted to make it a 2x6, which is 5.5, when I click apply, these two little reference planes moved. So it's working. I'm going to set it back. I want to start with it this way. Okay, now I'm going to save this family. And I'm going to call it wood studs. And I'm making it studs because we're going to have more than one size. So there we go. All right, these are just parameters. They're not geometry. Now we're going to draw. So I'm going to zoom in here. And geometry needs to get locked to these reference planes. So you see a little lock. So I'm going to go up to create, and I've got all these little tools I could use to create this. And luckily for a stud, it's pretty simple. Just going to use an extrusion. So I'm going to click that. Got to check my working plane, so I'm going to do set, and it's good. It's on the lower reference level, so that's good. And if I use the pick lines tool and have the check mark here and lock, that automatically locks my lines to the reference planes. So I need 4 sides to my stud. See those little locks? They're all locked. But I'm going to trim them because I need a nice closed loop for an extrusion. Okay. And I'm going to just green check mark to finish. And if I do zoom extents in all of these views, there's the stud in 3D. There it is in elevation, and there it is in plan. All right, I'm going to switch these to shaded instead of wireframe. And I'm doing that because what I want to do in this family is set the material. So I'm going to click on the whole, the whole shape. And in the properties, I'm going to click on the dots and go get softwood lumber. And put it up into my file, but I don't like gray lumber. So I'm going to make it kind of a light wood color. There, so that looks good, hey? You can't see it very well here, but it's there. Okay, it's a good time to save again. All right, so it's a funny height. It's only a foot high, not very usable. So I want to put another parameter on the height. So I'll go back to annotate, aligned, and don't click on the reference plane. Click on the bottom of the stud, so the extrusion, and then the top of it, and place it there. Then click on the dimension and do the create parameter, and we're going to call this one stud height. It's a type. And just like before, I'm going to start with a fairly typical stud height. So I'm going to click on that and change it to an 8 foot. Right, so if you ever, you go shopping for wood and they have racks of lumber and you pick, oh, don't worry about that, and you pick the size of lumber you want. So this one is an 8 foot 2x4. All right, save. Okay, so that's not good enough. It's just one stud. If we put this in a file, it wouldn't give us many options. So options are those families when you load the family and then you go to properties and a whole bunch of sizes are there, like windows and stuff. So that's what we want to do. Those are called types. So I'm in my family. I'm going to go up here to family types, call it a 2x4 by 8 feet. That's going to be the name of that type. And those are the sizes. So all is well. Okay, that's the first type. Then I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to create a new type. And this one is going to be, so I've got 2 types. I'm going to make one more and then I'll show you how we test it out. Okay, so family type, new. Let's make, all right, so I think you get it. You just keep making all of the types that you want. And I'm going to show you this. So I was going to make wood studs, all of the different sizes. And then the lengths, 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot, 12. And then I was going to make the pre-cut wall studs, which, usually 2x4 and 2x6 at these sizes. So one for a 10 foot ceiling, that's 116 5/8. One for a 9 foot ceiling is 104 5/8. And one for an 8 foot ceiling, pre-cut wall stud is 92 5/8. If you do the math and it's comes out to like 92 1/2, but they make it a little bit bigger, like I said right here, if you can see this, because studs shrink. So that's why it's 5/8. All right, so you go and create all of the different types that you want for your stud. And if I look here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 created now. And let's just say that's all you want for this. So then you save it. And then I'm just going to create a new project just to show you how it works. This is an Imperial project. All right, this is it here. I still have my 2 files open. If I just going to close that view. All right, so I've got an RVT project open. So now I'm going back to my stud family. And I hit save. That I always hit save several times. Then I go up here, load into project. if I go over here to my project file, I want to place a vertical one, so I'll just click there, and oops, and if I go to my project, there you see the level markers, there's the stud I just placed. So I'm just going to put it on shaded so you can see it, and it looks good. And it's a family. If I click on it and I look up here in the properties, I can click on that and you can see my 4 sizes. So it's perfect. It's worked exactly the way I want it to. So there you go. That's creating a custom family that has a whole bunch of sizes, which are types, and now you can do that for all sorts of families. Okay, that's it. Hope it works for you.